Hey everyone, it's Brian, and today's project is we are going to bind the Arctech eFly 102C radio to a model. This is a 2.4 gigahertz radio, and it's using the double antenna eFly receiver. There are two different kinds of receivers for that for the 2.4 gigahertz system for eFly, and they don't work for each other. So the kind that we have here has two antennas. The other kind is the single antenna one, and it won't work with this particular radio, or at least the one that's available at SN Hobbies. The single antenna ones tend to come with the ready-to-fly models and the transmitter you get for those. So the first thing we're going to do is set up the transmitter to get ready to bind it with the model. The model I'm going to use today is the Arctech Jet Tiger, and so I've programmed it in. What I'm going to do is just first thing that we're going to turn on the radio, and then we are going to load the model in. So I've made it model 2, and the Delta model, yes, comes up. That means that when I turn on the radio next time, this is the model that will come up. I'm going to turn the radio off, and then I'm going to look on the back side. There's this plug here, which is the bind the bind button. If you push it down, it's in bind mode, and work mode is with a button out. Right now it's with a button out. Before we bind it, the radio is off. We're going to push that button in, and when we turn the radio on next, it'll start looking for the airplane to bind to. So let's bring the airplane out and get that part set up. Okay, the next thing we need to do is get the receiver ready. What I've got here in my hand is the bind plug. This comes with the receiver or every radio that you get. And what we're going to do is we're going to plug it in where the battery connector would normally go. So everything's hooked up. I've got the throttle, elevator, and aileron connections done there. This goes into the battery connector, which is usually unused. And then the next thing we do something we don't otherwise normally do. I'm going to connect the battery to the model without turning the transmitter on. And this is a part of the bind process. So, plug it in. And as you can see, the signal light starts flashing. That means it's waiting to bind. It knows it needs to bind because it's got the bind plug in there. Okay, so that's flashing. I've got the radio here, and it's all set up with the Jet Tiger model programmed in. It's the one in memory, and I've pushed the bind plug in. So what I'm going to do is turn it on. Now they're going to start talking to each other. This has stopped flashing and started working or being solid. Next thing I do is pull that out, the bind plug, and the light goes out actually and starts flashing again. Finally, I take the radio, which is on, with the bind button in, and take it out. And we get a solid light. You can hear that it's connected. The speed controller has initialized, and we're ready to go. And things are moving. And that's all there is to binding it. A few things to note when you're setting this up. Anytime you turn on this radio, with that button pushed in, the bind button in, it's going to lose its bind with whatever model. So if you push it in, turn it on, and then off again, it will not connect with the model until you go through the whole bind process. The other thing is you can have a different model. It has 5 model memories in here, and it can have up to 5 different binds with different receivers. Another nice feature you can do with this, if you're using one receiver with more than one model on this, you can bind the same receiver to more than one model in memory. So that's it. This is the Arctech eFly 102C radio, 2.4 gigahertz, available from SN Hobbies at snhobbies.com. Thanks for watching.